Peace and love, family. This is Brother Caleb coming at you again with another video. Today we're going to be coming out of the book of Leviticus chapter 11, and we're going to be going over the clean and unclean animals. So I'm going to entitle this video, The Distinction Between Clean and Unclean. And we're going to start at verse 2 of the 11th chapter. And it reads, "Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat." What is cloven-footed? Cloven-footed is a divided or split hoof that is split into two toes. And the cud is partly digested or regurgitated food from the first stomach of the beast back into the mouth for further chewing. Verse 4, "Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean unto you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean unto you." So the Most High said, we shall not eat their flesh, nor shall we touch their dead bodies. It is unclean unto us. It will pollute us, and it will defile us, children of Israel. Verse 9, "These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you." So that means catfish, that means shrimp, crabs, all these disgusting creatures that people in ignorance eat. These are the things that the Most High Yah said will defile us. Verse 11, "They shall be even an abomination unto you. They shall be a disgusting thing unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcass an abomination. You shall treat their carcass as a detestable thing. You shall hate it. You shall treat it as filthy." Verse 12, "Whatsoever hath no fins, nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you." Verse 13, "And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the flying things, among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle, the ossifrage, the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after his kind, every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind. All these birds eat detestable and abominable things. The Most High said, we shall not touch it, and we shall not consume it. Verse 17, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the giant eagle, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All fowls that creep, all flying things that creep or that swarm, going upon all four, shall be an abomination unto you. So we have creatures such as the flying fox. We have creatures such as the bat, the flying squirrel. These things are an abomination unto us, children of Israel, those who the Most High made the covenant with, to be his people, to be his set-apart people. In order for the agreement to stand, we must make sure that we don't defile our temples, that we are obedient to the commandments that Yah gave unto Moses. Verse 21, yet these may ye eat of every flying, creeping thing that goeth upon all fours, which have legs above their feet to leap withal upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat: the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. This is very important that we understand, especially during this time. Now that famine is approaching, and this tribulation that will soon come upon the whole earth. There will be food shortages. There will be famine in crops. We will have to learn how to go back to these things and understand what we can eat and what we cannot eat in the fields. Verse 23, but all other flying, creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. Any other flying insect other than these named in verse 22, it shall be an abomination unto you, and you shall treat it as a detestable, disgusting thing. And for these, verse 24, ye shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until even. And whosoever beareth aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. The carcasses of every beast which divideth the hoof and is not cloven-footed, nor cheweth the cud, are unclean unto you. Everyone that toucheth them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all 4, those are unclean unto you. Whosoever toucheth their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. Very important that we understand what we can eat and what we cannot eat. It says in verse 27 that whatsoever goeth on his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all four. Those are unclean unto you. The lion, the bear, the dog, the cat, the wolf, the ape. All these things the nations consume and they treat as delicacies in different countries. But the Most High said unto his people, unto his chosen, it is an abomination unto you. It is unclean unto you. You shall not touch of its dead body, and you shall not consume it and eat it as food. Verse 28. And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean unto the even. They are unclean unto you. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth. The weasel, the mouse, and the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doth touch them when they be dead shall be unclean until the even. And upon whatsoever any of them which they are dead doth fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be a vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, wine skins, or sack. Whatsoever vessel it be wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean unto the even. So it shall be cleansed. So if the dead bodies of these animals were to touch or fall on any vessel of wood, any container of wood, cloth, skin, wine skins, any type of sack, whatever vessel it be, it must be put into water and washed and remain unclean unto the even. Verse 33. And every earthen vessel wherein to any of them falleth, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. Any earthen vessel, any vessel made out of clay or dirt, you shall break it. It is not to be washed, but it is to be broken. Verse 34. Of all meat which may be eaten, that on which such water cometh shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every vessel shall be unclean. And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falleth shall be unclean, whether it be oven or ranges for pots, stoves, ovens. They shall be broken down, for they are unclean, and shall be unclean unto you. Nevertheless, a fountain or a pit wherein there is plenty of water shall be clean, but that which touches their carcass shall be unclean. So if a dead animal were to die in the fountain where there is plenty of water, the law tells us that it is still clean. The water is still clean. The pit or the fountain is still clean, but the one who touches their carcass, who removes the dead animal out of the fountain or out of the pit shall be unclean. Verse 37, and if any part of their carcass fall upon any sowing seed, which is to be sown, it shall be clean. So if the dead animal falls upon any type of seed that you are planting in the ground, lawfully the seed is still considered clean. But verse 38 says, but if any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you. So if water touches the seed that the dead carcass of the animal is on, then you shall treat it as unclean. Verse 39. And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that touches the carcass thereof shall be unclean unto the even. And he that eateth of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean until even. He also that beareth the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. The Most High commands us to be clean in all things. The inner man must be clean as well as the outer man. What comes out of our body must be clean, and what goes into our body must be clean. Verse 41, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth shall be an abomination, it shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all fours, or whatsoever hath more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination. The centipede, the caterpillar, these are supposed to be regarded as disgusting in the eyes of the children of Israel. Verse 43, ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth. You shall not make yourselves abominable. You shall not touch these things or consume these things, which would make you an abomination in the eyes of Yah, which will make you disgusting in the sight of the Most High. Neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye should be defiled thereby. You should be polluted. You should be contaminated, physically and spiritually. This will contaminate us. Verse 44, for I am Yah, your Elohim. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves. How do we sanctify ourselves? By eating what is lawful, by not consuming the abomination. The day of Yah is approaching. He will punish those who have the abomination in their stomachs. The Most High said, ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy, saith Yah. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, with any manner of insects, rodents that creep upon the earth. Verse 45, for I am Yah, that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your Elohim, to be your power. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy, saith Yah. This is the law of the beast, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth. This is the law. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but his law shall remain forever. We do not add to his law, and we do not diminish from his law, that we may keep the covenant perfectly. This is the law of the beast and of the fowl, the flying things, the flying creatures, and the insects that creep upon the earth, and the creatures that live in the waters. Verse 47, to make a difference, to make a distinction between the unclean and the clean. No other nation has this. No other nation has this understanding. They eat what they desire. They eat bats. They eat rats and cats. They eat monkeys. The Most High said that we must make the difference between what is unclean and what is clean, between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten. It is very, very important in this day, in the latter days, that we return back to the dietary laws. Because when we go to the book of Isaiah, and we go to the 66th chapter and the 15th verse, and it reads, for behold, Yah will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. This day is coming that shall burn like an oven, it says. For by fire and by his sword will Yah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yah shall be many. Yah shall put down many people, many nations. Verse 17, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh and the abomination, the detestable thing, the disgusting thing, and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith Yah. Do not listen to these false prophets and these false teachers who tell you these laws are done away with and we can consume whatever we desire. Because the prophet Isaiah speaks the word of the Most High, and he says that the day of Yah will come with fire, and that he will plead with all flesh. He will plead with all human beings. And he will punish those eating the pig. He will punish those eating all these abominations. The mouse, the bat, the cat. They shall be consumed in his fire, saith Yah. Let us repent even of what we eat, because the day of Yah is soon coming. The day that he will plead with all flesh by fire is soon coming. This is Brother Caleb. I love you, and I pray that the Most High has mercy on us all. Peace and love.